Hello and welcome back to some War Thunder. So, yet again, I haven't done this for a little while, guys. Sorry about that, but things have been busy. So today we're getting back into War Thunder, flying out the I-4F3 WildCat. This has really become one of my favorite aircraft in the past few weeks. This thing's just an absolute beast. I've loved this thing for a long time, but until recently have I really figured out just how much of a pub-stomping machine this thing is. Now, for a lot of people that don't know, this is a pre-war design, but even that's an early pre-war design. Turns well, decently fast to a straight line, 450 cals, with 1,400 rounds of ammunition. It's more than good enough to do what it has to do. The only thing about it is, well, it isn't exactly fast, but it is quite durable, and it turns really well. The elevators on this thing work quite nicely. The roll is a little bit slow, but this is definitely the predecessor to the Hellcat. Now in this match we're going to show you, well, exactly how to use the WildCat. What I mean is we're top tier at 2.3 BR, and we're all in WildCats. Now we're going to have taken most, if not all, the kills this game. We're going to come pretty close, but essentially I want to show you guys exactly how to play it. Now, just because this thing's not fast in a straight line doesn't mean it doesn't get going too fast. It's still doing... This thing will easily do 250s to 280s mile an hour in a straight line, which is actually pretty fast for a pre-war aircraft. You'll outrun a lot of the biplanes and a lot of the Russian aircraft this tier. Yeah, you have some of the lags you have to worry about and a few other things. Excuse me, and some of the MiGs, but this thing can always outturn them. So let's see, we got Ju-88, MC-200, oh, I'm going after the Ju-88. I'm going to get some firing, getting some hits. And then also, we got Lieutenant over there, aka Flying Ace, and we got Tomahawk shooting at him. Which one of us is going to get the kill on him? Nope, I'm not getting much on him. I think if I'm correct, I want to double check. Yep. Lieutenant gets the first kill. I see an MC-200. Now, this is something that's great about the American 50 cals, is the fact that you get a lot of firepower in terms of the amount of burst damage that you have, basically the weight of the caliber. But also the rate of fire is very controllable. You don't necessarily run through all your ammo very quickly. Overall, I really love the American 50 cals. And this shows exactly what happens if you know how to use them. Bang, he's done. It's kill number 1 for me. So we're at 2 kills for the squad. Now this roll right here, that roll, that is exactly what the Hellcat, well, the WildCat and the Hellcat are both really good at. Use that elevator. Putting shots to BF-110 at range. We got Flying Ace over here, okay, Lieutenant trying to get some shots into him. I'm going to pull off, because I notice there's a 109 down there. Now remember I said use the elevator? Falling... Whoop, I missed. That's okay, the 109, now this is the other issue I don't think the 109 realizes. Is you never get into a turn fight with a WildCat, or a Hellcat, or any of them. He's going to pay the price for it. Granted, it is a 109 Emile, so I mean he's not exactly the fastest 109, but he's certainly faster than me. But he ends up getting into a turning fight with me, and he's going to lose every time. And he goes down. And then I spot a 110. There goes Lieutenant putting rounds into him. Taking some AA fire. He sets the 110. And he does some engine damage to him on the left engine. Leaking some oil. And next to me, there aren't really any enemies, you know. BF-110 is trying to shoot our friend Tomahawk. Tomahawk, if I'm correct, was a little bit damp. Oh no, he actually goes into the bridge. Now, as a BF-110, this is something I showed in another video. If there's an enemy on you, fly straight, use your rear gun, do not give a side profile of your aircraft. This makes it for an easy shot. And well, he lets me light him up, and now he's really done. Gonna roll around on him, bam. Now see that move right there where you use the ailerons and mostly the elevators to roll up and around? That is a strategy that works very often against everything. Don't try to use it on things like Spitfires. These low tiers, that thing can outrun these Spitfires. These Spitfire 2s that you see. I think the Spitfire 1 and then the 2 and the 2B that you see, you can outrun them in this thing. But using the elevators, it works really quite well. They will get you with their ailerons, their roll being better. Ooh, sorry. But with the elevators, this thing's really quite good against most everything except Spitfires. And ironically enough, this thing actually can get into a roll fight against Zeros, and depending on the skill of the pilot, you can do it. Now, I'm going to show something later with how to use the WildCat's landing flaps. Because this thing does not have combat flaps, it only has landing flaps. But you can definitely use them to your advantage. There's a CR-42 Falco. Now, this is something else I want to mention. This is going to showcase the other part of the American 50 cal, which is, well, when they don't work. And what do you mean when they don't work? Well, they just don't always work. Mind you, just to let you know at this point, I'm at 3 kills. Our buddy Lieutenant AK Flying is going into land. He has a kill. And our buddy Tomahawk, who died, has 2 kills. So we're up to 6 kills between our group. Our squad. I put in some shots into the Falco. I get a few hits. Set him on fire. Bang. That's a good example when the 50 cals work. You're going to see with the other Falco, the 50 cals are not going to work. Yeah. And, oh, BF-110. One of my favorite targets. So I see him coming at me. I let him go head on. You wait to see him fire. You turn on him. BF-110, now, see right there where the landing flaps just went in? If War Thunder had a rewind system, I'd show you again. But essentially, if you are going under about 200 miles an hour, if you're going under that, even 210, you can use it. You can limitedly use your flaps by hitting F and letting the flaps come down for about 5-6 seconds. For that 5-6 seconds, you will create a lot of drag, but you're also creating a lot of lift, which thus you will lose speed greatly, but you will turn on a dime. That is a strategy that's used very well actually against Zeros, ironically. If Zero is coming at you at a faster rate of speed, you can cut your engine, deploy the landing flaps, and then turn. And generally, not only will he not be able to turn quite as well, you'll barely be able to outturn him, but also he will shoot right past you. Then you put up the flaps, throw on the engine. He's in front of you. You can run him down, and it's very hard for him to outmaneuver you. You can then kill them. That strategy works very well against 109s, 190s, things like that. Granted, this one doesn't really run into 190s, but the F4 with the 650 cals does. Why they have different BRs is beyond me, but for some reason this one with the 450 cals is weighted a lot lower. So that BF-110 shoots down our P-36, and he's going to shoot down our Beaufort, or Beaufort, or however we say it. I'm getting closer to that BF-110. You can see this thing's relatively fast, and I mean, this is... Yep, get some hits. These guns, mind you, something with the American 50 cals especially, I have mine set at 400 meters for the gun convergence, so right about where he is, if not maybe a little bit closer. So that they're actually converging here, then they're spreading from the right to the left and from left to the right. So basically these guns are shooting over to there, and these guns are shooting over to here. But I have mine set so I don't start shooting until about 500. Sorry, or 0.5 miles out, or, you know, half a mile out. I usually say 500 because I go after the decimal because I'm just weird. But basically I have this set, so essentially at that range I know I can guarantee hits. Now this is something a lot of people need to note, is that because they are wing mounted, your gun convergence matters a lot more. It's not like a Lightning where you have all center mounted weapons. The accuracy on this thing when someone's really close and really far, you aren't going to necessarily hit. So it's something to keep in mind. BF-110, he's gonna try and level out and try and outrun me. Now here's the thing, he's actually gonna outrun me for a little while. But my speed is steadily increasing. He's not gonna outrun me forever. So now is where I start to gain on him. Slowly. Notice how the speed is staying around 290. The WildCat is not slow. Once you gain up enough energy, it's pretty fast. It's not that great at climbing, it's great at maneuvering, but the BF-110 is going to dive down for a little bit more speed. I'm going almost 300 here, guys. For a 2.3 BR aircraft, this thing is quite fast. It is not as fast as, for instance, BF-109 F1, but this thing also has, you could say, a crap ton more firepower. So, I'm going to get up nice and close to the BF-110. Put some shots into him. Now this is at this point, I only had about 100 rounds left. And this is what happens with an aircraft like this after you've engaged 4 targets. You have to make sure you keep a very well-disciplined trigger finger. Because even though it's only 450 cals compared to like something like the Thunderbolt's 8, it does only have 1,400 rounds of ammo, which I know sounds a lot for all you people that like Russian aircraft. But with the American 50 cals, for some reason, lately they just don't do as much damage. Why? Beyond me, I swear to God, they nerfed them. But I'm at the point now where I'm about running out of ammo. So I'm being very selective now. BF-110 pulls the worst maneuver he could have, and I end up screwing this up. I put a couple hits into him. And I have like, I think at this point I had like 80 rounds left or 70. Up, now see those landing flaps? You guys notice how quickly I turned? Yet again, limited use of the landing flaps. You can do that with other aircraft, but you have to learn when you can. Like, see, I'm exiting that at 190, and I used it for a little bit, so I probably entered around 210 using them, maybe even 220. I would never push it past 210. The only reason I push it past 220 is because my aircraft is fully upgraded, so I can do things at a little bit higher speeds, but don't expect to be able to do that always at 220, or at least 220 miles an hour. So, shooting at the BF-110. I just have a couple rounds left. Come on. Oh. Oh, one shot. Bang. Leaking oil, leaking oil. Oh. That's bad. So what I do, I'm out of ammo now. I'm gonna head back to base. Now this is where my buddy Lieutenant, aka Flying Ace, is gonna come back over here. He's gonna have some fun hunting down, and oh my god, here's a CR-42 Falco. Oh boy. I cannot run a Falco, he's a biplane. BF-110's trying to run me down. Now, here's something that you could do one of two things. In this case, I think that, you know what, the BF-110 just went through a series of turns. I know I have more energy on him. I'm going to be faster. As is right now, I'm doing 267. The CR-42 Falco, I know for a fact he's only going to max around 220, 230, if that. I know I can outrun him. So that's what I decided to do. However, I did end up taking some damage in the long run. Ow. So, but they end up turning off and going after Lieutenant. Now, Lieutenant, shooting off the BF-110. He turns. The CR-42 Falco is on him. See how well this thing turns? That's a biplane, though. And the biplane isn't exactly hitting him very well. He also used the flaps also, because he knows how to. BF-110's a little bit far out. He tries. Misses. Lieutenant's not quite as experienced in the WildCat as I am. And then he didn't realize at the time, but the Falco was on him. He's just trying to do limited maneuvers to try and get him off. And he knows he can just outrun him. You have to be good in the Falco because it has dual center mounted 50 cals, so you got to be good with your shots. I really love the CR-42 Falco. I haven't flown it recently. That's something I might end up doing. And now, yet again, he's catching the BF-110. BF-110 is damaged, but still, this can catch. Now, going back to me, I'm going to have fun landing at base. We'll check in back on me later. Lieutenant's shooting at the BF-110. He's missing a little bit. He has a bit of a lead trigger finger compared to me. He's trying to shoot him down. What are you doing, War Thunder Replay? Are you drunk? Whoa. Okay, he's missing some of his elevator there. BF-110 C4 is going to try to land. Lieutenant's going to go in. Nope. Nope. And... yeah, sorry, Lieutenant. But, yeah, I don't know what you were doing, man. Yeah, that's why you never... this is a great example of... never get too close to the ground. No matter what it is, it's not worth it. He could have always just gone back up. But he still gets the kill on the BF-110, so it isn't all that... what are you doing, War Thunder Replay? Are you kidding me? You guys seeing that? Go home, War Thunder, you're drunk. Anyways, checking back in with me. I'm trying to lose some speed to land. Because I don't want to be landing that fast. Now also keep in mind, because this is based off a carrier, these landing flaps are meant to slow you down. They also create a lot of lift. So when you come in for a landing, make sure you're going really slow, because this thing will take off at like 90 miles an hour, 80, or even 80 miles an hour. So your landing speed, touchdown, should be around 100 or even 110. Like, you'll see mine be about exactly 100 when I hit down. Or yet 96, 90. Actually, about 90 this time. Usually I land a little bit faster, but I was injured, so I was trying to nurse it. You can land at 90. Most people, I'd suggest 100 just because it gets a little bit unstable around 90. Your lack of lift, if you have any problems or shift your rudder too much, you won't have enough to be safe or have enough airspeed. So most people, especially on a runway like this, you can definitely land at 100 miles an hour. So anyways, now I'm just on the mend. I would say that it's worth flying the F4, F3 over the 4 because this is a 2.3 BR, and the F4 for some reason is put at a 3.0, which you can even face up to 4.0 aircraft and has all the same characteristics, just 2 extra 50 cals, with only 40 more rounds of ammunition. So for me, it's not worth the trade-off. This 4F3, I will say, is a little bit of a seal clubber, but if you don't know how to use it, you'll be killed. You have to know how to use this thing to do well. Now to quickly go over to our P-36C Hawk, he's trying to get after the Ju-88A4. He's doing his best, you know, he's probably new to the game. He'll do what he can. This is the new Hurricane with the dual 42s or 37s on. I think 42s or 40s. On it only has 32 rounds, so it has 16 shots, 16 pulls of the trigger. So he's trying to be careful. This guy ends up coming in handy later. Oh, that was close. I'm gonna watch him try and see if he can kill the Ju-88. Oh, a little bit higher, bud. A little bit higher. Nope, a little higher. Come on, you can do it. Bang. Oh, he hit the engine. Oh, nice kill. Nice kill. So anyways, I'm just taking off now. Now, here's the issue. The enemy team, they have a Falco left. Now, remember when I said that these 50 cals don't always work? Well, you're going to find out exactly what happens when the 50 cals don't always work. So, remember I said about that convergence, meaning that this I have mine set for roughly half a mile out, is when they do real work. Well, here's the CR-42 Falco now. And, we're going to have a problem. You guys are probably going to... Can I actually watch from the Falco's point of view? Yes, I can. There's me over there. Now, we are actually, the minute we start firing. Now my rounds come in, they're a little high, they're a little high. Now they're hitting them, they're hitting them, they're hitting them, they're hitting them. Did basically nothing to him. Me, I'm basically untouched by his 50s also. But essentially, I hit him with quite a few 50 cals, and it does nothing. So, continuing. Now this is where you're going to realize when this thing can't outturn something. The Falco's not the best biplane. Even with my flaps, I cannot outturn him. Tries to get hit into me, he doesn't really end up doing any damage. I was sitting here thinking I was going to delay him while the Hurricane gets back here. But I guess the Hurricane had to land. So, what did I say? Remember how we're faster in a straight line? You just fly away from him. And here's something to note. If you look at the distance, mind you, I'm in miles. I wait from about 1.5 miles out, 1.2 miles. And because you only usually shoot at each other at about half a mile away, what you do is, remember I said use this thing's elevators? I'm doing 170 so I can use these flaps. Watch how fast this thing noses over. Bang. You're there. And that's at a low airspeed too. That's 170 miles an hour, so this thing will pull maneuvers quite well. And there's the Falco. I'm just ignoring him. I want to get him to follow me and bring him back over to near the Hurricane. So that's what we do. So he's following me, you know, just kind of flying away. And here we go. I'm going to pull up again, use the clouds. He can't see what I'm doing. Going to nose up over this time and get even more of an altitude advantage. I'm going to point the nose down. I hear him. Oh, he's up there. I got some hits on him. Then he nose back over. He's going to get the first shots off. But he ain't going to do anything. Yet again, use this thing's superior speed, superior weight, and superior dive characteristics. And just do a light to medium dive. I could even done a shallow dive and been fine, but I really wanted to get away from him. And then yet again. Just do it again. So I think you guys are starting to see the pattern here. Now this is where our friend in the Hurricane comes to help me out. Because here's exactly what happens. See the CR-42, he turns around, he's going to try and run away. And well, that ain't going to happen, Mr. Falco. If I see him, now, I take the shots, I start shooting at him at farther than 1 mile. You notice the first shots miss, I notice that they're high, I bring him down, he starts taking hits. And then, all of a sudden, I break off, he keeps shooting. He's going to turn after me. Now watch how quickly that WildCat's going. But, you notice this time, I screwed up. I should have been in a dive earlier on. I waited till later. I should have gone straight into a dive a little bit more, but our friend in the Hurricane is going to end up helping us out. Because now the Hurricane, he's not that fast, but he's going to be put in a position where he can help out really soon. So yet again, just fly away from him. Now this is where he really screws up. The Falco did not pick someone to kill. He went after the Hurricane again. He and the Hurricane do a pass. Then I come in. Now, this thing's shooting. This thing's really stable while shooting, while using your elevator and even your rudder. So, while I'm actually diving down, this is a very stable platform to shoot. So, see the Falco? He looks up and just realizes, oh crap. Yet again, it's that larger profile. From my angle, he had a very large profile to shoot. That's when you lose. You go up in smoke. And that, my friends, is an ace for myself, 2 kills for my friend Tomahawk, and 2 more kills for my friend Lieutenant. So, basically what the moral of the story is, especially with the lower BR battles, is if you're fighting an enemy, try to go either directly at him or directly away, if you go sideways on and do turns like that, if you expose the entire profile of an aircraft like here, all I have to do is aim my guns here, and I will rake shells across your entire fuselage, and you will burn and die. I will say this aircraft, I still think it's somewhat pub stomps. I wouldn't mind if this thing was brought up to a 3.0 BR, but it's at a 2.3 right now, and I'll be honest, I'll take advantage of it. Anything in my favor, absolutely. So, thank you for watching. Let me know what you feel like saying in the comments. Give it a like, give it a comment, give it whatever you feel like. But alright, thank you guys for watching, and I shall catch you next time.